ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Before we get started with tonight's meeting, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And I'd like to ask both of our Boy Scouts to please come up to the podium here, and would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? Robert and Will? Okay, would everybody please rise?
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And would everybody please remain standing and keeping your thoughts and prayers and moment of silent meditation this evening for all our brave men and women who are fighting in the armed forces, both domestically and overseas, to protect us in our freedom and the way of life that we so enjoy in the United States of America. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Okay, once again, thank you all for being here for this meeting this evening. Tonight's meeting is a Town Board work session, and the date is Wednesday, May 11th, 2016. And for the record, all board members are present with us this evening, as is our town attorney. Greg Fulchetti is all the way down to my left. Okay. Jimmy Gilchrist is here with us, our Recreation and Parks Director. Our town engineer, Rich Franzetti, is here with us this evening as well. Okay, first item on the agenda this evening is the review of the town board minutes of May 4th, 2016. Unless any board members have any comments on those minutes, we'll move on. Okay, the next item on the agenda, number 2, is to consider the additions and deletions to the active list of the Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department. And we have a memo here from Farah Fidel, the corresponding secretary for the Mahopac Fire Department. This is addressed to the town clerk, Ann Spofford. Dear Mrs. Spofford, the following person has been added to the rolls of the Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department, and the gentleman's name is Maxwell Stephen Sanger from Carmel, New York. We just have one spelling change that we have to make on Mr. Sanger's last name is S-E-N-G-E-R, S-E-N-G-E-R, Maxwell Stephen. I happen to personally know Max, great young man, cares about his community, and he's going to do good things for the Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department. And I know Councilman Lupinacci as well. He probably knows him better than I do. But Councilman Lupinacci knows Maxwell as well. So,
can I give my nephew a shout out?
Give your nephew a shout out. You sure can.
Good job, Max.
Yeah. Okay, and on the reverse side of the town board's backup is another memo from dear Mrs. Spofford. The following person has been dropped from the rolls of the Mahopac Fire Department, and his name is Joseph Reitano. So Joseph Reitano has been dropped from the rolls of the fire department, and they're adding one, Maxwell Stephen Sanger. Any questions or comments about the two individuals that are joining and retiring? Nope, there being none. Okay, next item on the agenda, number 3, Mike Simone, Highway Superintendent. This is to consider rejection of all bids for the tree felling and trimming. There's a memo here from Highway Superintendent Simone. Due to the exorbitant cost, I am rejecting the 2016 tree bid. At this time, I do not intend to rebid the trees. So he's just asking that the bids be rejected, and he's not going to be going out at this time seeking new bids for the tree felling and trimming. Any questions or comments? Okay, next item on the agenda, number 4, Rich Franzetti, P.E., Town Engineer. Consider bond return for Random Ridge LLC, tax map number 76.210-1-23, in the amount of $994,488. $994,484. Rich?
Thank you, Supervisor. The applicant is requesting that his original performance bond in the amount of $994,484 be returned and substituted with a site plan bond that is $1,967,000 per the Planning Board's resolution dated August 26, 2015.
Okay, any questions or comments to the town engineer regarding this agenda item? The bond return for Random Ridge LLC? No, there being none, let's go on to next item, number 5. Let's consider request to pay the 2015 outstanding invoices.
So in April of 2016, the engineering department received 5 invoices from vendors who performed work in the calendar year of 2015. The invoices were attached. The work performed was in Carmel Water District 3 for the curb box replacement. Work was performed in November of 2015. In Carmel Water District 2, it was a hydrant replacement. That work was performed, set of work was performed in August and another one in November. And in Carmel Sewer District 2, work was performed for a fabrication of an elbow, performed in September of 2015. The invoices are related to responses to emergencies. The board may be aware of the standard operating procedures at the controller's office is to pay all invoices from the previous year prior to closing books. We follow up on purchase orders. The engineering department follows up on purchase orders to ensure that vendors have their invoices submitted in time before the books are closed. In the case for the POs that are recommended here, there was no PO issued. We believe this happened for a combination of reasons. The 2 vendors, in this case, Dunright and TAM Enterprises, are not companies that the town normally does or typically does emergency work with. The vendors were contacted by Severn Trent Environmental Services, our operation manager, to respond for these emergency conditions. When emergency conditions, POs are not typically issued in advance due to the impractical, it's impractical that happens. Vendors who typically work for the town are familiar with getting a PO after the fact. These guys did not follow this procedure, and these invoices were sent directly to STES and not the town of Carmel. In order to further complicate this issue, during the same time period, one of STS's key personnel assigned to the town of Carmel, because of health reasons, was forced to take a medical leave, and it appears the invoices were forwarded to that person and remained in limbo in ST's offices. So the work was performed for the town. It's not, a desirable outcome of the way we want to operate. It's not how we've been operating, but it's something that has to be paid because the work was performed for the town.
Okay, so this work was performed in 2015, and the invoices weren't produced, or the vendor claim forms and invoices weren't produced in 2015. They're being...
Not to the town of Carmel, no. They were produced directly to STES, but it kind of fell through STES's, the cracks in STES's armor there, if you want to call it as such.
Okay, all right. And Rich, you conveyed to STES that in the future, these should be submitted in a timely manner. I understand there was some issues with staff, with personnel, but we really need to have these submitted and processed in a timely manner.
We've instructed STES to give them a copy of our standard operating procedure number 4, which identifies the correct procedure for obtaining POs.
Okay, great. Thanks, Rich.
I just have one question. I know I sent it to, I think maybe you, Rich, thing.
The answer to that is, go ahead, ask your question. I have the answer.
You know the question, yeah. There's the one invoice for $750 with no date.
Right, and that was identified, 11/25. It was identified on 11/24. So it was the done right one. It was done on 11/24. 11/25, 11/25. Yep, 11. No, we have one 11/24. No, it was 11/25. It was the same date as the original one. I apologize. They were both done on 11/25. So the one that says unknown, they provided us a date when the work was performed. We can provide that back up to the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, any further comments or questions for the engineer on this item? No, okay. Thanks, Rich. Okay, next item, consider request to accept proposal for the replacement and welding of a support beam at Carmel Sewer District Number 4.
Okay. Thought we were doing the roof. I
Wait,
apologize.
which one? I thought we were doing the roof. The
Hold
roof-
on.
Roof is next, sir.
Okay, my apologies.
Okay.
Roof is next, number 6. Consider awarding bid for the roof replacement at Sycamore Park.
Bids were received by the, as the town board may remember, this was a Sycamore Park roof replacement. Bids were rejected last year. The town engineering department went back out and rebid these, and we had positive responses to it. They were received and opened by the town clerk on April 29th. The apparent low bidder, One Time Carpentry, made a material alteration to the units on the bid sheet, and council had advised that the bids be rejected. Engineering Department performed qualification evaluations on the next apparent low bidder, BCG Construction, at a cost of $59,332. The results of the bid openings are attached. We are satisfied, based on examination, that BCG is qualified to perform the work for this project. We checked with the Controller's Office to identify if funding is in place. The Controller did identifies that the funding is available for this work. And based on our review of the bids that were received, we recommend that the project be awarded to BCG for a total amount of $59,332.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Rich. Any questions or comments for the engineer regarding the roof replacement at Sycamore Park? Down this way, any questions?
No.
Okay. Yeah, this is a long-awaited project that we've been through a lot of research and background on this, and developing plans and specs and rebidding, and so I'm glad to see this is moving forward, because the roof does desperately need to be replaced at Sycamore Park. So thank you, Engineering Department. Thank you, Jim, for your involvement, and I'm glad to see it's moving forward. Okay, any further questions or comments for either Jim or Rich? Okay. There being none, now we can move on to number 7. To consider request to accept proposal for the replacement and welding of a support beam at Carmel Sewer District Number 4.
So Severn Trent Environmental Services, the operators of Carmel Sewer District 4, has alerted the Engineering Department that the steel beams which support the wastewater treatment plant roof are in need of immediate repair. There's a photograph provided in the memo that was given to the board. STES requested and received quotes from certified welders. TAM Enterprises at $5,000, West Star Carmel Steel at $6,950, and Hudson Valley Property Solutions at $7,290. The work entails replacement of a single beam by a licensed welder. The department verified that there are sufficient funds in the Carmel Sewer District 4 budget to cover the cost for this work. A copy of the correspondence was attached to the memo. The repair needs to be performed, as there are concerns for the safety of the workers at the plant, and we recommend that the town board authorize the repair by TAMS at a cost of $5,000.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rich. Any questions or comments for the engineer with respect to the beam replacement at Carmel Sewer District 4? From time to time, ladies and gentlemen, we do have 8 sewer districts and 13 water districts. So they do need, from time to time, they do need repairs and upgrades and improvements. We have a very, very significant, very large infrastructure in the town of Carmel for our water and sewer districts, and they do need upkeep and repairs, and things like this go. This was a support beam, a vertical support beam, that had oxidized towards the base of it. When it was noticed by the operators of that particular plant, they brought it to the engineer's attention, and we sent our people out there to confirm what they found, and they found the beam that needs to be replaced. So this is what we need to do. We do have capital improvement projects, long-range ones that we do develop through our engineering department, identifying certain improvements that need to be made over the course of several years, but sometimes issues like this come up that we weren't aware that were going to surface when they did, and then we have to address them. So, and the monies to make these repairs and improvements when issues arise comes out of the particular district where it's located. So it's not borne by all the taxpayers of the town of Carmel, the cost of the repairs. It's that particular district that this plant services. So it's different areas throughout the town that have to pay for various expenses associated with their particular district. So everybody doesn't pay it, it's to that particular location. Okay, Rich, next item is number 8. This is the MS4 annual 2016 review of our report, MS4 report.
So as the board is aware, federally mandated regulations known as Stormwater Phase 2 requires permits for stormwater discharges from municipal separate storm sewer systems, or MS4s, in urbanized areas. The town of Carmel is an MS4 community, and as such, we are required to develop and submit an annual report under the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation State Pollution Discharge Elimination System general permit for stormwater discharges from MS4s. Attached for the consideration for the board is a draft annual MS4 report that has been posted on our website for public comment and review.
Okay, Board, this is an annual report that the town of Carmel must submit regarding the municipal separate stormwater sewer 4 report. This is something we do every year, and I'm sure you're familiar with it because you've seen it every year, and the engineer has presented it to the board, and we have to submit it to the state. So this is something we do annually. Is there any questions or comments with respect to the MS4 report? Okay, there being none, thank you, Rich, for preparing this.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. That's it for you for this evening.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks
good
a lot.
evening.
Yep,
Thanks, Rich.
appreciate you being here, Rich. Okay, Jim Gilchrist is here for 9 and 10. 9 is the Director of Parks and Recreation. This is to consider a donation of a park bench at the Mahopac Chamber Park. Jim?
Sure, I don't know if you want to lead on this one, Ken. I received a call from Kenny, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, regarding a resident that was looking to do a donation in one of our town parks. So I came up with an idea of a park bench down in the Chamber Park. We could use some more benches down there. Found a bench similar to the benches that we have that are there. They've been there since, I think, 1999. It's a well-built bench. It will be permanently put into the ground. The family was asking to put a plaque on the bench, and they put the quotes in which they'd like to have on the plaque. I've given the resident information on where that plaque could be purchased from a local business in town here, where we get our plaques from. So it would be similar to the other plaques that we have on the other benches, where we would epoxy and affix it to the back of the bench with the slots go across. Probably be about 1.5 inches by about 4 inches or so, depending on how big the slots are on the benches. So I'm not sure how you want to handle, if you're going to approve this, having the resident buy the bench and buy the plaque, and then we'll install it. I'd rather install it because of our underground irrigation system, and there's a lot of electric lines and so on down in the park. This way we could place it, but it might be easier to have the resident buy the materials, buy the plaque, and then have us just install it. So I wasn't sure on how that, and we brought this in front of the Recreation Committee last Thursday,
Yeah.
and they did approve of this, thought it was a great idea. But they would like to make sure that when we go forward with any other kind of donations that come to the town parks, that we have it go in front of the committee and then have you guys do a resolution. So we know what's out there and what's being put on benches or whatever else is being dedicated in the parks.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
I have no problem with this, Jim, and I think the board is in agreement. If not, you can comment on it. But we've done this in the past. There are other benches at the Chamber Park.
At all of our parks, we
They're
have.
in memory of family members and things like that, so I have no issue with this. And the gentleman's name, we can mention it. It's Barry Gelber. He's a longtime resident of Mahopac. He's owned several businesses in Mahopac. This is in loving memory of his parents, Bertha and Julius Gelber. He wanted to do something nice in their honor and their memory, and he, thought about the parks in the town of Carmel, and that he thought, a bench would be nice. And he's agreed to pay the cost, and the cost of this particular bench is $629. And I agree with you, Jim. I have no problem with him purchasing the bench and the plaque, but we should arrange to have it installed.
Yes.
I think that's the right thing to do. This way it's installed properly, and, it's on our property, so we gotta make sure it's done
Yes,
correctly.
yep.
So, Yep, I'm fine with this. This is good. Anybody else? Jonathan, Frank?
No, I think it's a great idea, thank you very much, but I also agree with your last point that stuff like this in the future should be vetted through the rec committee and then come forth.
Yeah, what happens on a lot of projects, say at Baldwin Meadows, for instance, there was a lot of fundraising that went on. There were benches that were dedicated there. Same thing in the Chamber Park. When they were putting the park together, everything in that park, from a light post to the fountain, the gazebo, everything has dedication plaques on the playground did. So, and the same thing in the dog park. We had a lot of people that sponsored that down there. So now when you're getting into the individual items, we should come through and, Kenny he called up and said, how should we handle this? We talked back and forth, and then bringing it in front of you guys would be the best way to go.
He went before the rec committee, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
brought it to them? Okay.
Yep.
All right. good.
Yeah, I'm normally, on larger projects, when there's a lot of different dedications, you don't do each individual item. But now that these parks are pretty much, they're up and running, you're gonna have people wanting to, we have people like Mr. the O'Toole family. They came in front of the board after the park was built and did the playground and they're constantly still helping out with plantings and stuff down there. But when you're doing an actual dedication, I think it should come in front of you guys and do a resolution for this.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gelber. I don't know if he's watching tonight, but thank you, Mr. Gelber, for your generous donation for the bench, for the Chamber Park, in memory and honor of your parents who passed away. Thank you. Okay, next item, number 10. This is to consider Eagle Scout candidate Will Lacey, is consider refurbishing of the gazebo at the Mahopac Chamber Park. So, Will, you want to come up and join Mr. Gilchrist? Yeah. Thanks.
So why don't you give me the packets and I'll hand it out for you. So why don't you explain to the board what you're planning on doing?
My plan for the gazebo at Mahopac Chamber Park is to pretty much like fix the whole thing, like power wash it, add some more shrubbery, repaint it, remove some shingles, and remove some broken fences and unused latches. And pretty much like repainting it, like, everything.
Yeah, well, like I was saying before, the gazebo down in the Chamber Park goes back to 1999. So it's it's the right time to do some work. So Will's going to be working with his uncle's company, it's Blue Horizons Construction. Bob Bach in the back here and John Aquina are the two owners. I'm not sure if Bob's going to go on the roof or John is, but
No, John is.
John's going to go on the roof. The scouts won't be leaving the ground. We'll have the contractors go up. It's going to obviously stay the same color white, and he was saying he's going to power wash, clean it up, enhance the plantings around the front. And the different groups that have used the gazebo over the last 16 years or so have left staples, nails, flag holders. So he's going to take, Will has pictures here, he's going to take all those out, they'll fill them in, sand it down, and then repaint it. So we'll have it's going to be a brand-new gazebo by the time he's done. And I have total confidence in Will and the contractors you have working. And why don't you talk about the fundraising that you're going to be having also?
I'm not too sure as of now, but I'll eventually come up with like a plan. But I will say this: my Aunt Laura, who's in the back, she works at the bank that's right next to the Chamber Park, and hopefully with the help of her, I can get a few donations.
Yeah.
And I will also get a few.
With a couple of bucks.
It's a bank, Will. You can make a withdrawal,
It's an easy
right?
fundraise.
Anywho, I was also going to mention, I am also going to get like a few power tools from the Home Depot, and I'm gonna see what they have over there, and I can pretty much borrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, borrow from them and help repair the gazebo.
Great.
This
Okay.
is great, Will.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. We've had the benefit, the town of Carmel, taxpayers have had the benefit over the years of having many, many Eagle Scout projects undertaken at our facilities. There's numerous ones that I can recall since I've been here, and they've really done a great job. So we are the recipient of their hard work and labor and attaining the rank of Eagle Scout, where they've identified projects on our property, on taxpayer property, and they've actually gone forward with them. And if you go around to our parks, there's so many that you'll be able to see and observe for yourself that have been done by Eagle Scout candidates. and they've really done a fantastic job. And again, we're the benefit of that. You're attaining the rank of Eagle Scout,
Yes.
but the town is benefiting by having you do your projects on our property. So thank you so much. We appreciate that. We actually have a second scout here this evening that's going to be presenting another project that he's going to be doing in the town of Carmel as well.
Yes.
So thank you so much for identifying the town as a location for your Eagle Scout project.
You're welcome.
Yep. We look forward to the completion of it, and one day, soon, you'll be having your Eagle Scout Court of Honor ceremony.
Yes.
And
yes.
if you can invite us to that, I'm sure some of us will attend and present you with some proclamations and various things from the town for attaining the rank of Eagle Scout.
All right.
All right? Okay, well, thank you so much.
You're
Good luck
welcome.
with that.
You're welcome.
All right.
Great presentation.
Jimmy, I think it's nice that we're getting the Eagle Scout candidates from outside of the town of Carmel who want to come and donate there. DeWill is actually from White Plains. Is that
Yeah, I
right?
thought you were doing some recruiting down there. when you first
We've
came.
been working, we have a lot of work to do. So thank you, well, we much appreciate it.
Okay, next Eagle Scout candidate to come up and join us is Robert Sekirker. How are you, Robert? Good, thanks for being here. Geez, you know, Robert, it seems like just the other day that I was at a ceremony where it was a moving up ceremony, I think, at Sycamore Park, where I had said that, and you were one of the younger scouts at the time, I had said that, you guys set goals for yourself, work hard, and be committed to scouting, and one day, you'll be achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. And here you are, presenting your project. You have Mom and Dad here with you, and I think they were there when I mentioned that one day I'm going to be attending your Eagle Scout ceremony. So I'm glad to see you here. You stuck with scouting, and you stayed committed to that, and now you're at the point where you're presenting your project. So take it away, Robert.
Thank you. So my project is I'm building a fence on the outfields of one of the ball fields at Jimmy McDonough Park. What it's going to do is it's going to prevent people from walking into the field while people are playing baseball. I know some of the younger kids might not be able to hit the balls out that far to hit somebody, but when the older kids get out there, they're going to hit them out there pretty far, and if someone gets hit, then it's a liability. And it's also going to prevent them having to stop the game when people walk past through the middle of one of the games. Also, in the packet, there's pictures of where I'm going to be building the fence.
So this is right by the scoreboard, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and also we're going to be putting a new fence around the scoreboard because the one that's there now is a temporary fence. We're also going to be fixing up the underneath the scoreboard because it's a big dirt patch right now, and we're going to put some plants and make it look all nice.
It'll be nice.
In this area, it'll be a triangular area out in center field between the two baseball fields. Our plan is to use that as a viewing area. So if you have a child that's playing on the 60 and the 90, we're going to try to set some seating out there so you can watch both games at the same time. And then also, there's a 4-foot fence that would be between the bathrooms and where the new outfield fence is going to go. That would be removed. So we'll have a nice lawn area that people could walk in and watch the game and possibly use some of the turf that we have, put in that area. That was some of our plans. So we could either put like a bleacher system there or some picnic tables. That's something that we'll do after the project is completed.
Okay. That's great.
This was also in front of the Recreation Committee going back, I think it was in the fall of last year when we started working on this. The only thing the committee members picked up on, the engineering department reviewed and approved it, the set of plans that Joe Fierro did. He volunteered his services to do that. One of the committee members was a little concerned with the outfield fence being too close to the scoreboards, where the outfield fence would be 6 foot high, the bottom of the scoreboard is 8 feet. So the suggestion was to move it away from the scoreboard so that a child couldn't climb on top of the fence and then try to get up onto the scoreboard. So that'll be a field adjustment that we'll do when we get out and measure and lay it out. So we'll pull it off of the scoreboard, probably about 4 feet or so.
Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Okay, Robert, thanks. Great project. Once again, thanks for considering the town of Carmel for your Eagle Scout project. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Nice presentation, thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Jimmy, age is a issue with these two boys?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay.
Usually that's the first thing they'll tell me, so.
18, right? Is it 18?
Yeah, both of these projects, I know Will is going to try to, I think, weekends in June, is that what we're planning on? So we want to try to get those done, obviously, before our concerts start down in the Chamber Park. And you guys are biting at the bit to get going, right? You have Salem Fence is going to be working with Robert on this project. And if I remember correctly, they have, that's a famous Eagle Scout family, right?
Yes, this is a person we know that used to work there.
Okay.
Numerous amount of Eagle Scouts in the family.
Yep, so they're all behind the project. I have total confidence in Salem Fence. They do a lot of work for the town. One of the requirements that we have is they're going to call before we dig. We have a company that will come up and identify any of the underground utilities. We do have electric lines for the lighting up there that are in that vicinity, and also the scoreboard. So we'll have all those identified before any of the work is done.
Fundraising event?
You're doing fundraising? Yes. I'm not sure what they are.
What
Do-
we're gonna be doing for fundraising is have multiple bake sales and get donations from private businesses around town.
Let us know where the bake sales are so we could announce it for you. Plus,
Plus-
as much as you can see, it's kind of like a bake sale.
We don't miss too much.
Doesn't drive by any bake sales.
So
Stops it all.
both projects should hopefully be completed by the end of June.
Great.
By the end of June.
Great.
Okay. All right, well, we're looking forward to that, and looking forward to your Eagle Scout Court of Honor ceremonies. You know, we have our own in-house Eagle Scout here on the board as well, so Councilman Lombardi's been attending a lot of the Eagle Scout ceremonies throughout the community, so let us know when it is. Okay, all right, guys, thank you. Yep. All right, that completes the agenda items for this evening's Town Board work session. Does any members of the public like to come up to speak on any of the agenda items that we covered tonight? Come on up to the podium at this time. Okay, there being none, I'm going to open up the floor to general public comment for new business. Yes, Mike, come on up. It's, you have to be a taxpayer, property owner, or business owner to comment during this portion of the meeting. Mike?
Hi, Mike Borelli, and definitely a taxpayer. I asked a question a couple of months ago, and Councilman Schneider actually gave a really rare, honest answer that the ball was dropped on negotiations with the Highway Department. And I understand that there's been some meetings, and the Highway Department came back with they think is a fair offer. And I was curious, what's the status on it? Has there been any meetings, and are any meetings planned for the near future?
Most recently, I think it was last night, we had a tentatively scheduled meeting that wasn't able to be amicable to all parties, so we're trying to get one in the next 2 weeks, is presently where we stand to get back to the negotiating table. It's the, pretty much the only outstanding contract that we still have, so we'd really like to get it wrapped up and try to get the two parties to meet on common ground that's going to be in the best interest for everybody.
So you're figuring within a couple of weeks?
For a meeting. I won't say for an amicable agreement, but I'll say for a meeting, absolutely.
And that last statement, it's our last contract that we have to deal with. Was there a surprise somewhere? Do we have a police contract?
No, well, we just got done with our binding arbitration, so I guess, yeah, you're right, we're back to that one again.
Okay, I won't ask about that. I asked a couple of times. I asked once when you were doing the budget. I asked once about 4 months ago, and I asked once about a month ago, that I proposed to you a way of the town saving some money by researching the cost of an outside engineer that we currently use providing a body in town hall. Has anybody done any research on that yet? And if not, I think after 3 questions, over 3 or 6 months, I could expect an answer in the next week or two. If anybody has done any research on it?
Yeah, well, the truthful answer is, Mike, we have not.
I mean,
You know, I'm not sure.
am I wrong? Is there a possible savings to the taxpayers?
There is a potential savings. I do agree with you. But we
So
need
then I'm
to-
not out of line saying I'd like to know what it would be. And, you know, it's kind of crazy to come up here every 2 months and ask the same question. There's obviously a reason why it's not being answered.
Well, we're going to have, the board is going to have to get together and have, because it is a personnel matter, So we're going to have to discuss that in executive session to the extent that, if we're going to be discussing the employment history of a particular individual, which we will be. You had mentioned the engineering department, so we're going to have those discussions in private. But we will,
It's been
can
six-
share with the board, we will.
It's been almost 6 months since I first asked. So I'll ask again in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, is there any other members of the public that would like to come up for new business discussions with the town board? Okay, there being none, we do have several announcements that we need to make this evening. One of them is that we've been announcing the Battle of the Bands event that would be taking place at Sycamore Park. I received this notification today from Nina Kalmeyer, the senior rec leader. The Battle of the Bands event that was scheduled to take place this Saturday, May 14th, at Sycamore Park has been postponed until further notice. And the reason that it's been postponed is because only 2 bands had signed up to participate in the Battle of the Bands. So, rather than hold the event with the 2 bands, they were going to hold off and advertise it and hope to have it, I believe she said, in August sometime. So they're going to try to recruit other bands that may be interested in participating, but to really have a true Battle of the Bands, you need more than probably 2 bands. So I think there was a total of 6 that they were trying to recruit and participate, but they were only able to get 2. So that's canceled, that's postponed until further notice, but I've been told by Nina, perhaps August might be a good month to have that. So I just want to give a shout out to all of those who participated in painting the town purple for the Relay for Life, American Cancer Society Relay for Life event that's coming up, that's going to be held over at the Mahopac High School the first weekend in June. Driving around town, it's amazing how beautiful the town looks with all the purple banners that are up, the purple flags, all the store front windows, the flowers on Main Street on 6N are purple in color as well. That was all done by volunteers. So there was a very aggressive and enthusiastic effort this year to paint the town purple, and we're proud of all those who volunteered to make that happen. And there's the purple line appeared down the center of Route 6. I noticed that there one day. 6N, I believe, that might be a line as well. So the town looks great in honor of the Relay for Life event that's coming up. So thank you to all of those who participated and lent a hand and participated. You may have donated goods and supplies for the Paint the Town Purple event, and or you may just lend a hand in help making sure that the community looked nice in purple for the American Cancer Society. So thank you so much. And the other event that we had this past week was the Town of Carmel Cleanup and Compliance Week. I want to thank all of those who participated in cleaning up your streets throughout the community. I'm noticing orange garbage bags around on the side of the road that were filled by volunteers to help clean up the town. So there was a strong effort made by volunteers, residents, business owners in the community to clean up our beautiful town. And it's noticeable because we've seen that the litter that had been on the side of a lot of our streets is no longer there, and that's to the efforts of those who participated. Also, our building department, Mike Carnazza and Dennis Marisak, the code compliance officer, there was a strong effort on their part this week as well to make sure that all the businesses and properties in the town of Carmel were compliant with the various codes of the town with respect to signs and banners and things like that. So it's a strong effort by all to make the community look nice. We do it this time of the year, every year around this time. We have the Cleanup and Compliance Week, and it was a success. But I just want to let the public know that orange garbage bags are still available up at the Highway Department. So if anybody wasn't able to clean up their particular street during this past week, you can still do it. And we're supplying the orange garbage bags as well. So if you want to continue that effort, just fill up the orange bags, tie them up, leave them on the shoulder of the road, and the Highway Department will pick them up. You don't have to dispose of them. We just need you to help pick up the trash. So thank you all so much who have participated in that event, and those who will continue to participate to keep the town clean. Does any board members have any questions or comments? Any announcements, Susie? Anything? No, that was the only one that I had to make was for the Battle of the Bands and those 2 other shout-outs to those who helped with the town, so. We do have one executive session discussion item on, that we need to go into executive session for. We're going to be closing the meeting from executive session, so we're not coming back out here, and that is for personnel discussions for board vacancies. So I need a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, good night, everyone. Be well. We'll see you next Wednesday for Town Board voting meeting.